welcome back, everybody, to Real Talk Realty Podcast, where we put the real in real estate. You are with your hosts, JD.
And Gabby.
And Louie.
And we are very excited to have no guest today. We have no guest, and it's going to be very relaxing. And
why are you excited?
I mean, I'm trying to make the best out of
It's a rainy day.
It's rainy. It's been raining for 2 days. It's going to rain for another 2 days, and then we're going to have beautiful weather this weekend, hopefully.
I know. My lawn has mushrooms growing.
I know. And my HOA guy hasn't come and mowed the lawn that's next to my grass, so I just let mine grow, and now it's a hayfield, and I'm going to have to mow it in a couple days.
That's okay.
But we're really excited to be with you guys this week, and this is our 16th episode, I believe. And last week we had on Rob Kropp, and it was a really good listen. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, I'd go back and check it out. There's some really good information just about what the market's doing, the reasons why not to wait, what could happen if you do wait. And I think it's definitely something, if you're thinking about entering the market or you've been hesitating, definitely an episode to go back and watch. But today we wanted to do something a little different. Gabby's idea was to talk a little bit about us, right? Because we've been talking a lot about the market. We've been talking a lot about other people in our industry and the way that their businesses intertwine with our real estate activities and things of that nature. And now we just want to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, Gabby's not going to run out of material on this one.
Nope.
No, Gabby will talk all day.
I can talk all day, but we won't start with me. So we'll start with you guys. So
okay,
who wants to jump in? Let's just
let's
get
start
to
with
Jay. We want you guys to get to know.
So you
us,
have to interview
right?
me. I don't know how to interview
Okay.
myself.
So I'll just ask you some questions.
Okay.
You're essentially wanting everyone to know who you are,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Outside of selling real estate, everyone knows we sell real estate,
Yep.
right? So tell us, JD, do you have kids?
Yeah.
What's your personal life look
I
like?
want to know what you did before you got into real estate.
He told us this. He was in car sales, remember?
They don't know.
They
Yeah.
do.
Maybe they didn't watch the first episode. Okay, so long story short, how I got into real estate, and actually it was how I began dealing with people and working with people face to face. First off, I was originally pursuing a career in criminal justice, believe it or not. I actually got my associate's degree in criminal justice at Hagerstown Community College. Then I transferred over to University of Maryland and decided criminal justice wasn't for me. I think that, obviously I have criminal justice kind of in my background. My father just recently retired 2 years ago from Frederick County Adult Detention Center. Almost was there for 40 years. At the time, he was one of the longest tenured Frederick County government employees, which was really cool. And I had a next door neighbor who was a police officer, so I was really into it. And then I just kind of realized that, that wasn't necessarily for me. I think there's a lot of honor and respect in that field, obviously, to do that, but it just wasn't kind of in line with where I was kind of growing into when I was going into college. So when I left college, I started bartending at a local restaurant and bar that many of you know. I met so many of you at this place, Cancun Cantina and Barefoot Bernie's. I worked there for a long time on and off for probably about 5 to 6 years. And actually, that position at that restaurant and bar was really empowering and enabled me to establish tons of different relationships throughout the entire time with people all throughout my community of all different professions. And it was really eye-opening and gave me a chance to deal with people solving problems, disgruntled customers, and things of that nature.
You did a lot of listening, didn't you?
A lot of listening. Made a lot of mistakes too. One time I dropped a whole tray of food on this business party, and I literally wanted to puke. It was bad. And I was trying to scrub the stain out of this dude's pants, and it just wasn't coming. It was bad. It was like a movie if you watched, yeah. And so I did that, and actually there was a really cool guy that I know, and I know he watches some of these podcasts or sees the clips of it. My good friend Justin Luttrell, who actually is still the top salesman in the tri-state. He just won another award for however many years in a row. He keeps winning the award for best car salesman in the tri-state area, and he is over at Younger Toyota in off the dual highway in Hagerstown. Fantastic guy, amazing salesman. big heart, really loves caring about people, and he is just a genuine guy. He used to come into Barefoot Bernie's, and I would see him, and I would say, hey, you know, like, he would always be in there, and he would always leave good tips, and he just was so happy about life. And I said, man, like, what do you know, at this time, I was kind of phasing out of the restaurant work, the late night shifts and all of that. And I asked him, I said, what do you do? You know, he's telling me he works down at Younger Toyota. He said, hey, you want to go to a job interview when you get off? And I was like, dude, I was like, at the time we were wearing Hawaiian t-shirts and khaki shorts. And I was like, I can't go dressed like this. He's like, no, trust me, just come with me. So I was like, all right. So I went down there. Next thing you know, I'm getting interviewed by the manager, the sales managers, then the GM. And then I was hired on the spot.
Get out.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It was like, it happened, like went from 0 to 100 really quick.
Like in 1 second.
I know. And then next thing you know, I was going back into work, told them that I was putting in my 2 weeks, and everybody was super happy for me. And we actually had a JD send-off bartending thing. And a lot of people came out, a lot of my regulars, everybody I used to help out. And I was getting all these big tips, and everybody's wishing me luck. And then I embarked on my car sale journey. Did that for 5 years, really honed in on my sales skills and just really learning the whole business of sales, and just helping people was like a different level than obviously serving drinks and food. But I enjoyed it, and then I felt like it was time to take my next step. I remember when I was selling, everybody would always say, this is the second largest purchase that someone's going to make. And I was wondering, why am I selling the second, not the first? So then I moved into home sales, have been doing that ever since, and have loved every second of it. Obviously, there's days where I want to pull my freaking hair out. Yep. That happens. But all in all, it's such a great career. It lets me spend more time with my family. I have a 2-year-old son, Dean, who is
adorable.
He shaved his head off the other day.
Yeah, my son the other day, literally, okay, me and Michelle.
This is a funny story.
Yeah, me and Michelle were hanging out and talking, and we see him messing with the hair buzzers on the charger. And we're like, hey, don't touch that. You don't need to do that. And he's like, okay. So he walked away for a second. Well, we keep talking, and then all of a sudden we hear, and we turn around, and his little hair chunk is floating down to the ground, and we just look at each other in just utter disbelief. I could not believe it.
That crap was
So JD,
crazy.
did you guys decide to buzz him all the way?
No, we did. I was going to, but he just looks too cute. I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, well, you're just gonna have a chunk missing for a couple weeks. Hopefully, it grows back pretty quick. But he is the love of my life. He's my pride and joy. I'm the third. He is the fourth. I just love spending time with him as much as possible. And aside from that, I'm really big into, over the last couple of years, I've gotten more into kind of fitness and lifting and running. I lost like 60-some pounds, and that's also helped kind of transform other aspects of my life, just pushing me to be the best version of myself, which I've really enjoyed that process. And the cool part about it is it's an ongoing process forever. It's never going to end. It's just something you continuously work on with no real ending, which I love.
Yeah, that's true. And what about you have another hobby?
Yeah, so I like gardening. I'm into gardening a lot, and I like fishing, kayaking, all things boat. Like
anything outdoor.
Anything outdoors. Hiking. I take Dean hiking with me in the backpack. We do the Appalachian Trail a lot. I just got a new canoe. So I like that stuff because it's like anytime there's a nice day, you don't really have to think about it. If you have nothing on your schedule, you can just get the boat out, go hit the lake, and
that's awesome.
Have fun.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's kind of about me.
There's one more change that happened to you last year.
What happened?
You grew a mustache.
Oh, yeah. I grew a mustache. Okay, so full disclosure, I had a big kind of beard situation going on, but that was all fake. I was just trying to cover up the fact that I didn't have a jawline when I was like a little heftier. I didn't have a jawline, so I was like, faking it with this beard. So once I lost some weight, I was like, you know what? Let me cut this thing off, see what happens. At first, everybody in my family was giving me a hard time about it. They were like, why'd you do that? But now it's just what the situation. But I'm like, I'll change. I could cut it off tomorrow and then have something else going on. That's always how
Let's do that.
You want to just cut it off?
Let's just cut it off.
We should cut it off on air.
Oh my
On air?
On air. Let's do it on air. We should run some sort of competition. Like, there's got to be something that happens, and then and then I'll cut it off.
Let's work on that.
We'll think about that.
Yeah.
But so that's a lot about me, and I'm really happy to be on this podcast, especially with these two folks here. They are just amazing. We gel, we click, we annoy the hell out of her all the time on a daily basis.
I beg to differ on that one.
We stress her out.
Yeah, well, she annoys the hell out of us.
Yeah, that is true.
But we love her.
Yeah. One thing about Gabby is she doesn't send text messages. She doesn't
Like a normal person.
She doesn't send text like if she has 6 things to say, instead of putting it in one message, she'll send you
6
separate messages, but rapid fire like a machine gun.
Boom, boom, boom. I go, oh my God. Today I almost said, stop it.
I have to explain because they never answer the phone. He never answers the phone. And
I answer for my clients.
Forever to respond. So don't get me started.
Hey, I respond.
Eventually.
So why don't you, Gabby, tell us a little bit about you and kind of how did you even get here? What happened?
Well, we already went over this,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to bore you with the details again.
Yeah.
I'm here. I've been here for
What are your hobbies?
3
What are you
years.
doing?
Okay.
First off, she goes to Dubai every 2 weeks. That's the joke.
That's not true.
Yeah, every 2
But
weeks.
I do travel. That is my hobby. That is like my number one hobby, traveling. Like I work a lot, but I do it so that I can live the life that I want to live, which is like traveling eventually every 2 weeks. But I love traveling with my husband and my 3 kiddos. I have 3 kids. I have my oldest, Jaden, he's 11. He'll be 11. My middle child, Catalina, she's 8. And then my youngest is Jason, and he's 3. So I have my hands full.
So you're juggling family, 3 kids, 2 jobs, including full-time real estate.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I do.
That's amazing.
That's what I do. And like those close to me know, like I'm always looking for another, like,
Side hustle.
Yeah, like another side hustle, another income revenue. You know, the average millionaire has, is it 7 or 8?
It's like 7, I
It's
think.
like 7.
Yeah. Streams of income.
Streams of income, yeah. So it's like I never want to get to a place where I'm comfortable, right? Like I always want to keep like pushing myself to do everything that I can do.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah.
Like even like
Yeah.
what about like in school? Did you
Yeah.
always have good grades?
Yeah,
and-
so I actually graduated high school at 16.
What?
Yeah, I graduated early because I wanted to hurry up and get out and start working.
Dang. Did you
Yeah.
have siblings?
Yeah, well, I have two younger siblings,
Okay.
or 3 younger siblings now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you mean now?
Because I have a new sibling, and I always forget. Like sometimes I feel like she's just like my niece or something, but she's Jason's age. She's 3. So my parents had a kid at like 40-some, 50 years old. So sometimes I forget. Like I sometimes forget that she's my sister. And
That's
not
actually
like my
crazy.
niece.
So
I
what does that
know.
mean? That means that
So
your
she's-
kids
Yeah,
are
so she's my 3-year-old's aunt, but she's 3 too.
What the hell?
Isn't that funny?
That is really funny.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
yes, that's why I said I have 3 now. But at the time, I only had 2.
Dang.
What
wow.
a story.
I know, right?
I wonder if like when they're growing up, she's gonna call it like Aunt. What's her your sister's name?
Grace.
Aunt Grace.
Aunt
going.
Grace.
I'm going over to Aunt Grace's house.
Wait. Aunt Grace,
No,
we're
but-
graduating today.
Yeah. Aunt Grace. We both are in our senior year.
You know what the funny thing is? She is like BFFs with my 8-year-old daughter.
Oh really?
Yeah, and like Callie will say, Callie's her nickname for Catalina, but she'll be like, Grace is like the sister that I never had. But then like when people actually ask her like, oh, well, is she your sister? She'll be like, no, she's my aunt. She's like 3, younger than her.
That's
So funny.
funny.
My Lord.
But yeah, that's me.
What about your husband? What's he do?
He kind of, he just does his thing.
Oh God,
he's,
what is he in the mafia? What is that?
Hey, anytime you say
Yeah,
He does a thing.
he does some things.
he does some things.
He's a trash man.
So
Yeah.
he actually works full time as he sells chemicals.
Okay.
For like some Japan Tokyo company.
Are they like the kind of chemicals that dissolve bodies?
Oh my gosh. They're for scientists.
Okay.
So he does legit chemical selling, you know, and then he has like his side stuff that he does. So
Yeah, he also just published a book, right?
yeah,
It was,
He did?
you guys are
he's an
they're very
author.
strong in their faith, and he just
Yeah.
wrote a book, I believe.
Yeah, he wrote his second book.
What's the name of the book? Come on, give it a shout
The
out.
second one is called The Principle of Tithing or something like that.
I almost
Yeah.
knew that before you, and that's messed up. I knew it was the principle of something.
'cause I was gonna say it's like The Last Trumpet, but that's his first book. So
Okay.
this is his second book. Yeah, he does that, but then he also does music. So he also
Is
has
it
his
like
hands.
gospel music type?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Christian like rap, but he doesn't like me to refer it to Christian rap
Yeah.
because it sounds so.
And you just referred to it
Rap?
as Christian rap.
Yeah,
Sounds so rap.
Yeah, sounds so rap, but
Yeah.
it's like a different kind of music. But you know, he does music not about drugs and
You know, that's
bad
that's a
stuff,
common
so-
thread on our team.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
team, we have a lot of people on our team who are
faith-based entrepreneurs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that
Yeah.
really is the thing with our team, though. That's like, it's not, it's known. Like,
Yeah.
it's that's a part of our team is being faith-based.
Yeah.
And his books are actually on Amazon, too.
Yeah, they are.
So you can find them.
Yeah, I'll put it in the.
See,
link
you're talking
somewhere.
about,
Yeah.
like, looking for local businesses to shout out when we could just be shouting out
Shout
your
out to
husband.
JD for shouting out my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, JD.
I've never even met him face to face. I just see what he's doing, so I think it's exciting. Yeah, so that's really cool. I didn't have any idea you graduated at 16.
Yeah.
That kind of
That
does
goes to
not
show
surprise
you-
me.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Like, I'm a go-getter,
You
so
are.
yeah, I just.
It's the
wanted to start early.
Spanish. It's
Yeah.
Spanish.
Maybe it is the Spanish.
A lot of Spanish people are hard-working people.
That's a
That's what
fact.
it
They
is,
just
yeah.
work. They work and they work to sustain their families,
Yeah.
and they do a lot of sacrificing.
Yeah, to build the life that they want. you
Yeah,
know?
that's exactly right.
And they care. And also, too, it's more like I notice, and I'm obviously not Spanish, but I feel like in the Spanish community, family is so important in there. And so it's like building something for your family, basically.
Absolutely.
Passing it down like a legacy, you know?
Yes. Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
awesome. And Louis, so tell us about you.
I'm Spanish.
You are Spanish. Speaking of Spaniards.
Clearly.
No, Louis, tell us a little bit about you. Where were you born?
I was born in Ohio, Lorain, Ohio, on Lake Erie. When I was a teenager, I could not wait to get out.
Yeah.
Minute I graduated high school, I joined the military.
You
and
were in the military?
I was in the military.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I was in the military.
We're learning things about
I
each other on the
know.
podcast.
This is awesome.
military police officer.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. So I joined the military, then I went to college in University of Akron, and I was studying
Criminal justice?
criminal justice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And year and a half in, I said, nah, I don't think criminal justice is for me.
So that happened to both of us.
It did. It did. So I got out of there and I moved to Florida with about, I don't know, $150 in my pocket.
How old were you at this time?
I was like 22.
Okay.
And all my friends, all my family says, he'll be back. So when I got there, I decided to never, ever go back because I didn't want to prove them right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I buckled up, started working as a waiter bartender.
I can totally see that.
in
I could
Florida?
see you being like the best bartender.
On the
Like,
beach.
Yeah.
On the beach.
Really?
On the beach.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Worked my butt off, and I started working for a good friend of mine, Peter. He was in the home renovation business, and we did our own hurricane shutters out of pine.
Oh, wow.
We did them all by hand, and we installed them on these rich homes in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an amazing journey. And when I left Ohio,
So wait, you went to the Bahamas?
went to the Bahamas back and forth because I was living in Florida.
Gotcha, okay.
And then we traveled to Bahamas and back and did all this work.
Nice.
Right. And so then I decided to go to school and became a diagnostic medical sonographer. And I did that for 28 years.
That is crazy. I remember that was one of the first things I learned about you because that was the business you were in right before you came to real estate.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Do you want to know a fun fact that I don't think anyone knows this except for like my parents and Trey? I wanted to be a sonographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I first graduated high school, I was going to go to school for that.
Right. Yeah. So real funny thing. I was like halfway or almost done with school, and I had just met Lisa, my wife.
Oh, wow.
And I came home one day and I says, I can't do this. I cannot do this. She says, what's the matter with you? I says, I'm going to have to find something else to do. I just can't do this. I have to diagnose people.
Mm-hmm.
I can either send them to the OR without needing to be there, or I can keep them out of the OR when needing to go there. The doctors relied on me for looking inside your body and letting them know what's wrong.
Right.
So I got over that, and I became an ultrasound technologist, did that for 28 years, and I was really good at it. And then my wife, Lisa, for years was after me. So you should become a realtor. You should become a realtor. I said, okay. One day I decided 3 years ago I'll give in. Got home, stayed home for a couple weeks from my job, studied for the real estate test, and became a realtor. Then I met you.
Yeah, then I met you.
Yeah. So became a
So
realtor.
Lisa was the one? Lisa was the one that was like, you should check this out?
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah. She said, with your personality, you're just gonna
Kill it.
kill it.
I literally thought that, like, when I first met you, before I knew that you had just gotten into real estate, I thought that you had been, like, doing it for a really long time. You just had this, like, personality about you that I was just like, man, like, you just seem like a guy that could have been doing real estate for 30-some years.
That's no one ever told me that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in between that, at the age of 49, I decided to put myself through the fire academy. I put myself through the fire academy, put myself through EMT school, graduated all that, and became a volunteer firefighter in Florida. And that's one of my accomplishments that I wanted to do all my life. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be the Spanish
Maybe.
coming out. But, yep, we became a realtor, was a firefighter, volunteer.
So did you fight some fires?
Yes, we did.
Dang.
Yeah. That's the dangerous job.
That is a dangerous job. Jeez.
Yeah. But anyway, in hindsight, I wish I would have became a realtor sooner.
Yeah.
It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. And like you, I just have more time to spend with my family, with my wife, with my sons. I have 2 grown sons, Nicholas and Joshua. One's working in D.C.
The other one is down at DRB.
And the other one is down at DRB.
And he is an exceptional guy. I love Josh.
Yeah, Josh he's a humble, honest, hardworking young man.
Humble's a good word to describe him. He really is.
He is.
He is.
Yeah. So loving life.
Yeah.
Loving life right now. I guess we're all really enjoying life right now as
Yeah.
realtors, right? It's a definitely a career choice that I would have choose again for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I could do anything, it would just the only thing I would change is go back and do it sooner.
Yeah.
But obviously, I really truly believe in that things happen the way that they're supposed to happen and when they're supposed to happen. So,
Yep.
and I think that you have plenty of more years in you to get this done.
Oh, absolutely. I'm loving life right now.
I mean, I see some 85-year-olds out there doing it. So
That's true.
Yeah, it's a career that you don't really have to retire.
No, you really don't. You could just do it when you want to do it.
Yeah.
Or take care of just your friends and family and things like that.
Yeah, or get referrals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So, well, thank you guys so much for joining us today on just a little personal side of the conversation. That was pretty interesting. We actually just learned a lot about each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah. But we really appreciate it. We will see you guys next week. And then after that, we might even record 2 next week. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what kind of
It's
mood
hard
we're
enough
in.
to get up here for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. We love you so much, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
And
Bye,
remember,
guys.
love where you live.
Love where you live.
Bye.